Welcome to episode 37 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And this week we're talking a little Trial.
Yeah.
And a little Ra's al Ghul. But before then, Cameron, you got any comic book, movie, or just general comic book related news for us?
I did.
You did? Oh.
I forgot. Hold on. It was...
I got a whole bunch of shit, so if you forgot it
Okay.
yeah.
I remember the Gifted. We got a full Gifted trailer, which is Heroes 2.0.
I didn't actually watch that.
Do you remember the original Heroes trailer?
Yeah, Save the Cheerleader, Save the...
It's the exact same thing.
Okay, because I know that's the like the street level X-Men, or like the... It's not X-Men, but it's like mutants.
Yeah, it's mutants. It's basically like what I got from the trailer is there's a girl who just found out her power, and she's teaming up with this other guy who has a power, but he's being hunted. And the big reveal in the trailer, which is stupid, is that he's being hunted by her dad.
What?
And I think she's also a cheerleader.
So that's literally Heroes.
This is what I watched the trailer and I'm like, this is like, I want it to be good because I want the version of Heroes that we would have gotten if the writer's strike never happened.
Right, yeah.
But it's like almost scene for scene, I feel like.
Oh,
I feel like there's even like a
interesting.
Japanese guy walking around.
With a samurai sword?
I wish.
Oh my god. I mean, I haven't watched the trailer. I watched Legion, finally.
Yay.
Which was really good. I feel like it would be hard to then jump in on another mutant property that's on a network. Because like Legion was great because it was so weird, and I feel like going on to like Fox, it would be maybe a little bit generic.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and also...
But I mean, Heroes was on Fox, ABC.
No, it was on NBC. I mean, it's
NBC.
all networks.
Right. Yeah.
But also, I don't necessarily love the fact that Bryan Singer's directing it. Like, I'm kind of ready for someone new to come in.
Yeah.
Just because he's done so much of it now, and he set the tone, but I feel like it's time for someone else to kind of pick it up and go with it.
Yeah.
So I probably won't watch it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the other, it's not really news, but it excited me this week. The like initial reviews of Wonder Woman are out.
I saw that. It seems to be
and they said not bad. They said not as bad as we expected.
What I've been reading is that it's the best DCEU movie to date, which might be the faintest praise you could possibly give something. I mean, I'm happy to hear that it's good. I want it to be good. I just assume they're all going to be terrible.
Yeah.
So if it is good, that's going to be great. Like,
I just loved like people are trying so hard to say like it's better than before, but it's still not great.
Yeah,
like they're both on screen together and they act.
Yeah.
Like, okay. All right.
I've been seeing generally warm things, so one hopes maybe.
Yeah. We'll find out in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that actually is coming up really soon, isn't it? Oh, so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We get to our crossovers. Those are so much goddamn fun.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. I mean, so, like, because there is a little bit of news. I mean, it's not solid news coming out of the DCEU camp. I mean, there was talks about more reshoots with Justice League, which I don't really read much into the fact there are reshoots. Every major movie, pretty much every movie in general has reshoots, especially huge movies.
Right.
It's to be expected that this one would as well. I don't think that's any indication that it's going to go up or down in quality based on what we expect. I mean, Rogue One had a shitload of reshoots. I mean, basically everything that's in the first trailer isn't even in the movie. And I know you and I differ a little bit on it, but I think overall that was more or less a success.
Right.
So for what it's worth, I don't think there's much to that. So there's reshoots. Who gives a shit? That happens all the time. It's probably still going to be garbage. So.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know.
One hopes.
I will continue to have my heart broken.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're still going to go. We have to. Yeah. I think, I'm trying to think what other news I saw. Oh, so the Venom movie is apparently happening. Did you see this?
No.
So there's rumors for a long time about a Venom movie. Now it's officially happening at Sony, seemingly without any sort of coordination with Marvel.
Okay.
Starring Tom Hardy, who I do love.
Yeah.
And directed by Ruben Fleischer, who did Zombieland.
Okay. We did talk. I don't know if we ever talked about this on the podcast. You and I and our friend Shane had a nice discussion of like if there's any actor that we would go see a movie just for them. And Tom Hardy was like pretty high up on our list.
He was on the list. He has consistently done pretty good stuff. So maybe.
So we'll see.
I don't know. It seems so desperate on Sony's part to like, let's do our own Marvel Cinematic Universe that we'll have some Spider-Man and not.
Yeah.
It seems like they've just decided, like, oh, well, Marvel's going to relaunch this character for us. It's going to be a success, and we're just going to ride the coattails off of that. But seemingly, I would assume Spider-Man's not going to be in this movie because it comes out in 2018. That's
right. He'll be in space by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Supposedly.
Yeah, and I guess this also rules out the possibility of him coming across the symbiote suit in Infinity War, which is a rumor, but that's probably not going to happen.
No, I wouldn't want that.
I also wouldn't either. I think it'd be too much.
I think it would make sense for afterwards, now that we've kind of
Sure.
opened it up to this whole galactic world for the symbiote to come to Earth. But not for him to fight Thanos in the black suit.
No,
I think
just
that'd be weird.
Just to find it. No,
Yeah.
and I guess the disappointing thing is that you kind of feel like if they started to get Spider-Man on the right track with the right creative people, that they could bring Venom back and do a really good job with it. And you're just like, well, fuck, but Sony's insisting on doing this without them. It's like, well, just don't.
Can you imagine if they brought in Tom Hardy for the Disney Marvel version?
Yeah,
that'd be two amazing villain actors.
It'd be incredible.
To follow up Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Hardy as a Spider-Man villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe would be amazing, but that's not what it seems like it's going to be. And you just see the potential falling apart as it's coming together. And you're just like, well, God,
yeah.
Sad times.
I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows?
Anything is better than the last symbiote movie.
Oh my God, it's absolutely true. I only have one other small piece of news, and this is only because we've talked about how much we love Power Rangers.
Oh, good. Did they confirm a sequel?
No, well,
Damn
that's actually the problem. Is that they?
How many times do I have to go see it?
I know. So it did reasonably well in the States. It has yet to come out in Japan, but they're hoping for
really.
Yeah, still not. I think July. Until
that's so dumb.
It's ridiculous. I don't know, but they were hoping for a big.
That's their show.
I know.
Why are we holding out on what we stole from them?
I know. I don't know. But hopefully it's big in Japan, because the problem was it came out in China and only made about 4.5 million so far in China. They needed it to be huge.
Oh shit.
So right now it's clocking around 140 million off of a $100 million budget, which you basically have to double the budget to make a return on it. So basically, as of right now, it's not turning a profit. So
no,
I don't know,
guys. Go out to our 30 listeners.
Yeah, if that.
Go out and watch Power Rangers.
I know. So maybe it'll
we need to know who the Green Lantern is. Well,
I mean, there are
Green
Power
Ranger.
Rangers Justice League crossovers, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, sure. We're
Yeah.
talking about Justice League.
Yeah, I know. I want a sequel. I think it was a good setup for a sequel. So it's up in the air right now. It's hard to say. It depends what kind of box office they get and whether they can convince Lionsgate to still go forward with another movie.
Right.
Even though it didn't do that well, because maybe the next time around it might be able to pull in a big budget.
If they fucking open
return.
it in Japan at the same fucking time.
I don't know why they didn't. There has to be a reason. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting now when you see movies that don't open simultaneously in China, especially, but also Japan, because we talked about this, that Fast and the Furious had a bigger opening than
anything.
The Force Awakens.
Yeah,
probably because it opened in Japan, or excuse me, in China
at the same time.
At the same time,
right?
So,
oh shit, we forgot the other big TV news that I texted you about. Black Lightning.
Oh yeah. Not set in the Arrowverse, seemingly, or at least not yet confirmed to be part of the Arrowverse.
No,
it won't be part of the crossover.
It looks very weird. It's not the static that I wanted.
No,
I mean, I know it's not static. I know it's Black Lightning, and we can get into that whole discussion. But I've talked about my love for Static Shock.
It's so great.
Almost every episode, I feel like
pretty damn close. Yeah,
yeah, and so I was. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed.
I don't think it precludes the possibility of getting Static at some point.
I know.
There's rumors they're saving him for the movie universe.
Yeah.
In which case, it might be Jaden Smith.
But I mean, I've stood up for him a few times now. Yes, because the Get Down, he's fantastic. But again, he's just weird in that show. So it fits him.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I don't know how he would be as a more serious actor.
Yeah, and the lead having to carry everything.
Right.
So I hope they do more with Static. I love Static as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, at a minimum we have our Static, which we get to
watch
soon.
in
I don't know,
a couple years.
A year,
yeah.
maybe.
One day.
Sorry, guys. I got a bit of a cough. I apologize. But I guess until we get to static, because it's going to be a long ways down the road.
We got some Batman to talk about.
We do. We have plenty of Batman to talk about. We got Trial this week, which
was great.
It was great, yeah.
And we've mentioned this before, I think. I'm going to steal the fun fact.
Please do. Take all the fun facts. The more you talk, the better. Cause
this was the original plot of... No, this was the plot for the originally planned theatrical movie, or straight to VHS movie.
Yeah, this was what Mask the Phantasm was going to be.
Yeah. What do you... We'll talk about the movie first, and then we'll kind of break it apart. Mm-hmm. I mean, we say that, but we never actually do.
No, I think. Well, yeah. There's only so much to talk about in the episode itself, and there's more to talk about at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are right at the beginning. We're introduced to Janet Van Dorn, who is the DEA who has replaced Harvey Dent, and she has a grudge against Batman.
She blames Batman for the villains, and I think she blames the Rogues Gallery on Batman.
Yeah, and it's a common theme through tons of stuff. I mean,
right.
This whole idea of that, Batman caused a lot of this stuff to happen. And so right at the beginning, who is it that goes free? Someone goes, it's Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy is exempt from going to prison because she was caught by Batman.
Yeah.
And they threw out some legal jargon that I forgot to write down. I don't know if it's real or not.
I didn't write it down either.
So instead, she's going back to Arkham.
It's interesting they touch upon it but don't expand, upon that, because that's an idea that we've seen pop up a few times, which is, can these crimes still be properly prosecuted if Batman's the one who brings them in?
Right.
No due process?
I don't know, because they didn't get their rights read to them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I think that'd be part of it. Yeah.
From what I remember about 21 Jump Street, that's a big thing, right?
The benchmark by
you
which
have to let them go.
All
if you don't give
procedural should be measured. 21 Jump Street.
Yeah. That's the most criminal-based movie that I watch.
It's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I love it.
Have you seen 22?
Of course.
I haven't watched it yet. I know.
Really?
I know.
Have you seen
I know.
the end sequence?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh man,
I've heard of it.
Just for that, you have to watch
it.
it.
I know. I'm way behind.
Get up to 33 Jump Street,
which might be like the MIB crossover. We don't know.
Someday, God, someday.
But yeah, so Poison Ivy goes back to Arkham, and when she gets there, she discovers that all the inmates have a big thing planned, because somehow Mad Hatter got a hold of all of his playing cards.
Right.
And so he takes control of everyone in the asylum, which I guess I like this because it's proof that, as we talked about before, Mad Hatter, if he weren't kind of an idiot in his own way, is one of Batman's most dangerous villains.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which it makes it kind of fun because he gets in his own way every single time.
Yeah, and there were so many villains in this episode.
I love
it.
Everyone, pretty much. I mean,
anyone that's had a major role or a recurring role.
Yeah, I think any original comics.
The only one that I didn't see was Clock King. Clock King and Clayface were the only two I didn't see.
Clock King,
and Roz, we'll see him next
and
week.
Catwoman.
Yeah, but she wouldn't be in Arkham.
No, she wouldn't be in Arkham. But those the major characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Roz, but saw him in the other episode.
Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, they're all there.
Yeah.
Which is great. Again, this is something you can do in a cartoon that maybe it would be really hard to do in a movie, which is bring everyone in together.
Unless they get Fast and Furious style. And we get 8 Batman movies.
I mean, in terms of quality, they're basically already at Fast and the Furious.
Well, that's
style,
what the long-lost Batman movie was supposed to be.
Which one?
Resurrect? No. The one that was supposed to come out after... not Forever.
Oh, Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Oh, Intimidation Game?
No, that's the Benedict Cumberbatch movie.
No, but that was...
Oh, is that the name of it?
Yeah.
I've heard 4 names thrown out for it.
That's one of the titles. Yeah, because it was supposed to be Scarecrow and Harley.
Mm-hmm. And they wanted Jack Nicholson to come back to reprise his role.
In a dream sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were talking about... Oh, I think we've talked about this on the podcast, actually, because they were talking about Courtney Love.
Yeah, Courtney Love was going to play...
as Harley.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the rumors I heard was Howard Stern.
I would have loved.
That movie would have been...
man.
With with
Schumacher behind it.
Schumacher, it would have been a fucking disaster, and I would have loved to see
it would have been so good. It would have been so much fun to rip apart.
Yeah, but I guess that's similar to what this plot is.
Yeah.
The idea that I think he's trapped in Arkham, which we've seen done obviously in the games and the comics and stuff. Mm-hmm. Just here it has a totally different tone to it because it becomes a kangaroo court.
Yeah, which is
Essentially.
cool.
Yeah, I liked it. Again, I think this works as like a 30-minute episode. Mm-hmm. It would be interesting to see how they would have stretched it out. Anything more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's there. So what the Joker? Okay, so they basically capture Batman. They capture Janet Van Dorn, and she has to defend Batman in court,
even though she hates him.
Even though she hates him, and prove that he didn't cause all these villains to become who they are. And so it's Joker as the judge, ventriloquist / Scarface as the bailiff.
Mm-hmm. And then the jury was Croc, Harley, Ivy, Riddler, Hatter, and I think Scarecrow.
Scarecrow, yeah. I think it's everyone.
Yeah, because there are only 6 on
Oh, and then Two-Face was the prosecutor.
Attorney. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a ridiculous but also kind of a fun setup.
Yeah.
And they do, I forget, have you read Dark Victory, which is the comic that follows Long Halloween?
I have not.
Okay. They do something similar-ish to this.
Okay.
But Batman's not on trial. I think it has something to do more with Harvey, if I recall. It's been a while since I read it. Similar. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough.
No, you're fine.
Hold it in.
It kind of, I found it a little amusing on like showing the characters they had, but obviously not being able to get the voice talent.
Yeah.
Because Scarecrow, who I think this might be his like scariest when he has his scythe.
Yeah.
When he can't talk and has his scythe, he's terrifying. His voice actor more than likely couldn't come in.
He was undergoing throat surgery when this was in production, so that's why. I think, and I imagine they wrote this and animated it, and then he couldn't show up, and they just worked around it, more or less, because he's in it a lot and has no lines. And then the Riddler too,
who's in one scene,
he's like
and
one
then
scene
disappears for the rest of the
They
episode.
just don't even bother with him.
Which is, I mean, it's fine because he's not like a confrontational villain.
No,
You never see him try and punch Batman.
you can see him just like fucking off in the middle of trial.
Yeah.
He's got his own things to do.
Right.
Yeah, I do love it too though, because I forget what the context was, but Croc once again says his famous line about hitting him with a rock.
Yeah, so it's right when the trial starts, Joker asks the jury how they stand.
Oh yeah,
and they said hit him, shoot him, like
kill him. Yeah,
drop a rock on him.
Yeah, hit him with a rock.
Yeah, hit him with a rock. I love that.
I love that that's become his thing.
Yeah.
But it's great because D.A. Van Dorn puts like Hatter on trial, and he claims that Batman made him who he was, and I love it because she's like, "What, didn't you like kidnap a woman who rejected your advances?"
Yeah, but Batman made me.
Yeah, and I love it 'cause she's like, "You could have just respected her wishes and left her alone."
I'd rather kill her.
Yeah, it's like, I'm so glad someone pointed that out to him. It's like,
Yeah.
you could always not be a creeper and just leave her alone.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
There's no way anyone would reject me.
Yeah, right. Crazy Mad Hatter. But who else they put on trial? They put up on the witness stand.
Harley.
Harley goes
we got
up.
her. This is the first time hearing her origin.
Yeah, they
we learned
reference
about
it.
Harley and Quinzel.
Yeah, that she was a psychiatrist at
And
Arkham.
Apparently, that was in the comic before it came out.
I think so. Yeah, I think they introduced her in the show, and then they had her origin. They put it in the comic, and they put it in the show, and then we don't get it until like Mad Love properly. Oh, that's right, because
Right.
Mad Love as a comic came out during the animated series. We didn't get the adaptation until
after.
New Batman Adventures. Yeah, but I love it because like the DA accuses her of like trying to influence the judge, and the Joker's literally like laying in her lap as she
And she's like petting him.
He has so many great lines.
Yeah.
In this too. Again, I mean, it's written by Paul Dini, so that's always me.
Well, I mean,
great
obviously,
Joker
this was written to be, it was conceptualized to be like, a full VHS.
Yeah.
Or full outside movie. So I feel like they had a lot of extra wiggle room of like, these are the best scenes we have.
Yeah.
And they could just trim off all of the fat.
Yeah, because you feel like it would be hard to expand this out. Well, I guess we'll get to that at the end. So then they put him on trial, and he's not guilty.
Yeah, they claim not guilty.
Which I wasn't expecting because I haven't seen this in a long time.
Yeah.
But of course they're going to kill him anyways.
Yeah, Joker. It's like, yeah, we're gonna kill you anyway.
Yeah, so they take him down to the execution chamber. I'm assuming to be electrocuted. We might guess.
Yeah.
There's that big generator in there.
Yeah, and he has the weirdest Irish accent for like 2 lines.
Oh yeah, he's like dressed up as the
is that a
executioner.
movie reference that I'm missing?
I think
I assumed it was.
I think it is. I'm not sure what. Yeah, it's like with the robes and the black hat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember specifically what it was.
I don't know, because he's talking the whole time, but he walks in with this very odd Irish accent, which don't think Mark Hamill can do Irish very well, or just fine. He can do other things.
No, it's
better.
fine.
And he just drops it immediately, and then they're about to execute him, but Van Dorn finds a batarang.
Yeah, she like grabbed it off of like a crime boss that Batman apprehended way in the beginning of the episode, and you kind of forget about it because why would she have a batarang in her blouse still?
So she knocks the light out. Great aim, by the way. I don't know like how easy those things are to throw, but we see like Batman has amazing aim with it, obviously. But I feel like they must be pretty easy if kind of anyone can throw them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Knocks out the light. Batman uses his disappearing act, gets out of the straitjacket, puts Harley in the straitjacket, gets his belt back.
I love that.
Knocks out Croc, and then runs off with Van Dorn. And then they're kind of stuck between Scarecrow with his scythe, and then the rest of the villains catch up to them. And we missed the whole B plot of the movie, which wasn't even really a B plot.
Oh, it's like Gordon's trying to find them, and
Batman's like left clues around.
He pulled a gadget out when he got apprehended by the gangsters, or by Harley and Ivy, and I assumed it was like a taser, but apparently it's a tracker. So I guess he left that behind deliberately.
Yeah, because he just knew that he was going to lose this fight.
Yeah, that was a fun scene.
Oh, we kind of skidded past it, but there was the way they apprehend Batman is he goes to city courthouse.
Yeah.
Knocks out what he thinks is a person, but it's the statue, and then very well like illustrated and animated, you see Poison Ivy is dressed as kind of the Statue of Justice.
Yeah.
Knocks Batman out, and just kind of the reveal. It was very. I think we've talked about this before. There's an episode of Samurai Jack where they play with the black and white and it's like hard contrast.
Okay, yeah.
Where it felt like that, where she's painted in all gold. And she just like barely removes like a little bit of the gold, and you see like the color come through. And I'm like, oh, that's very pretty. Yeah,
it's a fun scene. It's really clever.
Yeah.
Plus, anytime you get Harley and Ivy together,
they're great. They're so much fun together.
Yeah.
So Gordon finds them, apprehends the rest of the villains. Joker tries to. I kind of was fuzzy on this part. He like rodeos him.
Batman and the DA end up on the roof of Arkham as the cops have surrounded the interior and captured everyone. And the Joker, also on the roof, throws a rope around Batman. Yeah, and like
he hogties
him, and then jumps off the roof. So they're basically swinging between the buildings, counterweighting each other. And the Joker's trying to hit him in the face with the gavel.
Oh, okay. The real gavel or the rubber chicken gavel?
The real gavel.
Okay,
that's right.
Because there were a bunch of little bits that we'll talk about once we finish, which are basically done.
Yeah.
And then there was that really sweet line at the end of Van Dorn going up to Batman. She's like, "I'm not going to stop trying to make a Gotham that doesn't need Batman." He's like, "Well, me too. That's the whole point. I'm not doing this because I want to do this. I'm doing this because Gotham needs me right now."
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. It's. I'm sorry, guys. I'm struggling.
You're fine.
It's a really clever episode. Like I know they had the original plot to expand it to a whole feature length, so we imagine 75 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they would do to fill out the other.
That was what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Besides adding kind of more testimonial, or maybe going deeper into testimonial, like with flashbacks and stuff like that. But I feel like that'd drag.
It would drag, and also, with the exception of Harley, we've seen everyone's origin.
Unless they did it. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's one of the trends that I hate more than anything in anime, and I don't think it's come to Western cartoons as often or as much. But when they start, like if it's been a long break between seasons, the first episode will just be like a flashback episode, where it will literally be like, if it's like 4 seasons in, it'll be one episode containing everything that happened in those 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
I could have seen it being like just like the recap movie,
Sure.
which would have been horrible.
It would have been terrible. And what I like about this is that there's no superfluous storytelling. And I kind of feel like if they had tried to make this feature length, it would have been stuffed with stuff that didn't matter that much, that was filling time, that was kind of recapping things we already knew in the show.
Right.
I mean, they could have done a version of, say, Harley's origin, but that's not... It also wouldn't fit here because it's really not about her, so you feel like that just would have been filling time.
Right.
I'm glad this ended up being only a 30-minute episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think any more really wouldn't have worked.
Even if it was just like a two-parter?
I don't know if they even could have gotten a twofer out of it. I mean, where do you...
I have no idea.
I guess you could maybe put the cliffhanger on the guilty verdict, but then, the rest of the episode wraps up pretty quick. So, I mean, what do? Do you expand out, like, the B story of Gordon trying to track them down?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they definitely made the right call on this.
I would have liked more... so what we've seen so far is kind of everyone hates Two-Face.
Yes.
And I kind of
God,
love that story because it's former DA versus new DA.
Yeah,
is a little story, and then you have the Poison Ivy Two-Face thing where obviously she tried to kill him in the beginning.
Yeah. I love they bring that up.
Yeah,
like multiple times throughout the series.
I would love for that to just be like if there was like 3 more minutes of that, I would have been very happy. It wasn't needed, but it would have just been nice.
Yeah, no, it would have been kind of fun. But I mean, overall, I think it's a pretty solid piece of storytelling.
Yeah.
Like,
I love all of the comedy with the ventriloquist.
Yes.
There were a couple scenes where I think Poison Ivy walks in front of him or Harley walks in front of him. I think it's Harley. And Scarface says something very sexual.
Yeah.
And she turns around and slaps the ventriloquist.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm like, that's great.
It's a lot of
Because it's
fun.
funny to see that like people still see him in charge.
Yeah. Most people don't go for the puppet. Most people still go for
the puppeteer. Except Scarface got decapitated, and that was very sad.
Oh yeah, I mean he's had worse happen to him.
Yeah,
like a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean I'm sure it's easy to fix, but I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah. No, I like
that's their way of like killing now. It's just like it just cut out. It's just kill Scarface.
So much easier. But did you have any other like major points on this?
Joker was reading a comic. I forgot to write it down because I told myself I was going to remember it.
I didn't really look closely to see what it was.
It was one of DC's like non-superhero comics from the early 60s.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what it was anymore. He does Porky Pigs, That's All Folks.
Oh, that's right, he does.
To end the trial and hits
the
rubber stand, with a rubber chicken instead of a gavel. I think that was kind of it.
Yeah, the only like bit of trivia I had was that the DA was played by. Go ahead, you have this.
No, this is all you. You already started.
By Stephanie Zimbalist, the daughter of Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., who plays Alfred.
Yes, keeping it in the family.
Yeah,
and then later they just made Alfred's daughter Batgirl in the movie.
This is niece.
Oh, niece. You're right. That's what I meant.
Still doesn't make any goddamn sense.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, I think it does it for trial.
Yeah, right? It was a really fun episode.
I liked it a lot too. Like, I mean, again, this is almost a hard one to talk about because it's fun and the great moments in it are great moments. They're not stuff you can really talk about so much because you're just repeating it. Like, so definitely one worth watching.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't need to have watched the rest of this shit.
No, it was just a very fun,
Obviously.
like, villain episode.
Yeah.
It's great.
To get to see everyone come together like that in a kind of ridiculous, but they pay it off sort of way, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Is there any villain? I mean, we've kind of said the 3 that weren't there, but are there any villains that haven't been shown and animated yet that you would have wanted to see in this episode?
I don't know about in this episode. I mean, that we haven't seen yet overall. Firefly's one of my favorites, and he comes in the later season.
Well, I mean, even characters that aren't even in. It's kind of in all of Batman's rogues gallery.
Oh, that we haven't seen. Killer Moth. Yeah. We never got the DCAU Killer Moth. I don't think. Not that I can recall.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we should bring him in.
Yeah, I mean, you know my answer. You should. My favorite supervillain of all time.
Go ahead and say it.
Condiment King.
God, how did I miss that? But okay, that's right. He is in this.
Yeah, because you get his origin story in New Batman.
No, we don't. He's only in the animated series. We haven't seen him yet, right?
No, we have not seen him yet.
Okay, good.
Is he? Okay, it is in this season then. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the animated series.
Because Joker creates him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that eventually.
God, I can't wait to do the artwork for that.
I know. Oh, it's gonna be so good. So excited. But our sponsor this week, our good friends, the Novice and Frank.
Hey,
I know who we do
We know those
crossovers
two.
with. I've been on their podcast talking about DC New Frontier. They're both just lovely, delightful people, and their podcast is amazing.
Frank is one of the most knowledgeable nerds I've ever met.
Oh my god! I mean, the Guardians Galaxy thing. Like, that's an area of comics I don't know, and he just knew every fucking detail. Like, I don't remember the last time I was in a room where I didn't.
Oh yeah,
know
if you
everything.
guys have listened to the crossover episode, Chris and I play very much the comedic support.
Yeah,
We have nothing to input on
I ain't
top
got
of
shit to talk
what
about on
Frank
that one.
is adding.
Yeah, but they're awesome. So by all means, go check out their podcast. And here's the promo.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Amanda. What are you doing?
Just making this promo for our podcast.
You mean the Novice and Frank present a comic book podcast?
Exactly.
Wait, what's it about?
So glad you asked. It's where a comic book novice and a comic book expert discuss comics and media with special guests.
A novice and an expert? Which one am I?
You're the expert, Frank.
I knew that.
Sure. Check out new episodes every Wednesday on the Nerdist School Network and subscribe on Podbean and iTunes.
And tell us what we should read next at thenoviceandfrank@gmail.com.
See? You are an expert.
And there was the promo.
That's those guys.
Yeah, love them.
Yeah.
But now
Except when they made us do the singing intro and exit.
I mean, I actually sang.
I added sound effects.
It was great though. It works.
I can't. I musical improv, man. I can't.
I can't sing at all. I did karaoke recently, and I was fucking terrible. I forgot.
I know my role after being in musical for 2 years. I know my role, and just keep my mouth shut.
There you go. It's a vital role in a musical.
I was very good at it. I was a great background actor.
But now we're talking Avatar, not the James Cameron movie,
Not The Last
Cameron's
Airbender.
favorite show of all time, but the episode Avatar, which
might have. I was so angry with this title card. I can't begin to explain
because
to
it's
you.
just so stereotypical with just
No, it's just so poorly designed.
Oh, okay.
It had a
Why? Why is it probably like what?
one. It was like a very complicated background with text that was like off papyrus, which I understand is like the go-to Egyptian bullshit font.
Yeah.
And it had a fucking outer glow on it. That is like there's like there's two effects you never do in design unless you know how to implement them well.
Okay.
And it's fucking outer glow and it's drop shadow.
They did both.
They didn't have a drop shadow. They just
Okay.
had an outer glow. But a fucking papyrus outer glow drove me mad when I saw that. Like, I've been working all weekend, and so like I was a little bit on edge. But I was almost like, I'm not watching this episode. I
Oh my
can't
God.
do it.
It just set you off right from the beginning.
Oh man, it was a fine episode, but that I couldn't handle that. I couldn't do it.
Your frustration makes me happy. Like
I'm glad
that you're so mad about this.
Their bad design makes me upset.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It is bad design. But yeah, so once we get past the apparently horrendous title card,
It opens up fine after that.
it was fun. Yeah, it's like an old flashback to 1898 where a young Roz goes down into a abandoned tomb, and he sees like a glowing green wall, and then like the rope that he's been ascended down by burns off, and then it just ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's an interesting way to start things off, and I like that the music was forefront to it, but what bothered me was that there was no sound effects. Like, I could kind of buy no vocals necessarily if it's just no one's talking, but the fact that it was just music and there was no sound effects, it threw me off a little bit. I don't think that worked.
The way that I kind of saw that scene was his kind of introduction to the Lazarus Pit.
But I don't think that's what it was.
But no,
based
it
on-
wasn't. I mean,
Yeah.
like the green glow.
Sure.
And I feel like if they would have...
But he's also like 600 years old.
I was
so-
going to say, if they would
Yeah.
have made it like 1500 when he was doing this and not 1800s.
Yeah, it was only like 100 years ago that he
Yeah.
was doing this, so it's like it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, they didn't really explain it at all.
No, there's a lot of things that don't really explain in this episode.
But that's fine.
Actually, yeah.
Because this is... I wrote it down. This was Indiana Wayne and the Scroll of Osiris.
Yep, pretty much.
Because this was just a straight like rip-off of an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, and it more or less succeeds at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
'cause-
good. It was fine.
It works, yeah, because then they go. We jump forward to the future, and Bruce has curated this incredible
Because it's deductible.
because it's deductible.
I
yeah.
loved that line.
Also, small note, but this is a continuation of Bruce not wearing his traditional brown suit.
Yeah, both episodes.
But exactly,
He has a nice black suit in episode 1.
Yeah, I cannot
Or
say
first
if they continue this because we I don't remember the episodes, but it feels like they may have moved on from his horrible brown suit,
Yeah,
which I'm fine with. That is a terrible,
it is
terrible.
We got
fucking
a
suit.
good a good array of outfits in this episode.
We got some Jodhpurs
yeah
in this episode.
This was a brute because I checked the time code. He didn't don the suit or the bat suit until like 14 minutes in.
Oh yeah, way far in,
which was cool. It was nice to see Bruce fight.
It was mostly Bruce just being Bruce. Because he's. Oh no, that's not true. Because when there's a break-in at the museum, he's dressed as Batman to capture the guy who's trying to steal the scroll.
The least threatening named villain ever.
Who is it, Cameron?
Ubu.
Oh,
sounds like a monkey.
Your least favorite henchman of all of them.
He's not my least favorite. He's just so poorly named. He's so unthreatening.
Like last time you were talking about how like the word Ubu like physically grated your soul.
Well, it's like there's that trend in cartoons where they always will have like you have your normal henchman and then you have your like big giant like sumo henchmen that always have the really high pitched Mike Tyson voice.
Yeah,
and that's like the joke. And I feel like this is the the name version of that. Like it's this very muscular guy who's a master of martial arts.
Yeah,
it's like my name. All who know me fear the name Ubu. I'm like, no, they don't. No one fears. He's the taser face
of henchmen.
I am Ubu. You're what? God. Is that your dog's name?
Can we please get a new live action version of Ra's al Ghul where we have Ubu and he's played by Vin Diesel?
Please. That'd be amazing.
Because the best part about that is that he would not be able to lose a fight contractually.
Right.
And having to work around that would be amazing.
But he'd also have to, like, be more powerful than Ra's.
Oh, of course.
There's no way Vin Diesel would ever play a sidekick.
No, never. Get on that, Zack Snyder. But
I mean, I guess to be fair, Groot is kind of a sidekick.
Yeah.
In the most recent movie.
Wait a minute, Groot. It's not really a fight, but like Groot gets harassed and gets beat up. So
that's when Vin Diesel got beat up.
How do they work around that?
Probably just didn't show him.
That's probably true. Yeah.
In the premiere, they just cut that scene out. They just every theater has 2 copies of the movie, and if Vin Diesel walks through, they like radio the person in the tower of like
put in the Vin Diesel cut. It just cuts away to just like 10 minutes of a Charger driving around, and he's all happy, and he goes back to the movie.
It's like someone like kind of pushes Groot, and he turns around and just beats them up.
They just cut in Vin Diesel as himself. He doesn't even notice the difference.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, Vin Diesel.
What a great man.
Yeah, but so Ubu steals the scroll, and Roz shows up, and Batman's like, "Wait, I thought you were dead," and gets poisoned by a snake.
I'm back.
Clever snake trick. He just throws something at Batman, and he catches it, and it's like, "Oh shit, it's a poisonous snake."
Yeah,
gets knocked out, and I do love it too because then they go to the Batcave, and Batman is like talking to Alfred about how he got poisoned, and I love the way they actually shoot that, which is not shoot it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
draw it. Which is the two of them in silhouette in front of the Bat computer. Just, I mean, to do a scene we've seen done often, it was kind of a clever way to do it.
There was a lot of really cool kind of shadow effects.
It was, yeah,
silhouette effects.
I don't know if it's just if it's actually this case or if it just seems that way because we just watched Phantasm, but it seems like the animation in general and the confidence in storytelling has improved after Phantasm. I don't know if that was actually the case, and they just made the movie, and though it wasn't commercially successful, it was very critically successful, and they just watched and went, "This is amazing," and they just felt more confident with what they were doing. But so far, everything just feels a little bit sharper.
Yeah,
since then.
I mean, I feel like for the past, we haven't had like a really dud episode in a while. I feel like
we're 4 into the new season. It's all been good, and even preceding the movie, I think, except for maybe the Maxie Zeus episode, they were all pretty solid. So no, I think they're really kind of figuring it out. They should be because they're like 70 episodes in at this point. So
that's
I guess
also
they should be
true.
there. But so they
know it's an Egyptian snake. They know that's where he is, but before he goes to Roz, he has to go visit
Talia.
Yeah, he phrased it weird, but he goes to visit Talia.
Like, it's someone I've been meaning to catch up with or something like that.
That's
and so they figure out that the scroll is half of a map to something. I forget.
The tomb of something.
Yeah, exactly. So
Egyptian fake name.
Yeah, it's whatever it is. And they have to go and try and stop Roz, and we see
Can we just call her Yzma? Because she looks like...
she
like
does?
Yzma
Yeah,
from
I mean, I think her
Emperor's New Groove.
name is Thoth.
We're going to Yzma.
I wrote it down, but yeah, let's Yzma.
Yeah.
They got to go stop Yzma. We see that Bruce still has got a thing for Talia.
Yep. A
Understandable.
lot of sexual tension on this kid's show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There was a line that he says that I thought was kind of funny, especially since we saw all the villains in the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we have to stop your father. He's my most dangerous villain. And I'm like, is he?
Well, I mean...
He probably is.
You look at it in the context of the show, he's the only villain that had a plot that was deadly on a global scale. Right?
Yeah.
They only just kind of got by on the skin of their teeth. Like, the Joker is an asshole, but all of his stuff is pretty localized.
That's true.
So
it just reminded me of Batman, the Lego Batman movie, where he's like, "I'm like Joker, you're not my greatest villain." He's like, "What?"
Yeah,
I was just playing that
it's
whole
Superman.
scene.
Yeah. What? I don't have a great
Superman's
villain.
a good guy, and I guess I'd say that I don't have a
fight around. But yeah, so they sorry guys. Bruce and Talia go off on an adventure to go stop this. Again, they're wearing some rather fetching Jodhpurs.
Yeah, it's
which
nice.
I only know that they're called that because of the Weekly Planet.
Is that the like wide pants?
Yeah, so it's like all the Imperial officers in Star Wars wear that too, where it's like narrow at the ankles and it goes like has like the big wide like trapezoidal things around the hips.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I love those.
Mesa's always talking about the Jodhpurs. That's how I knew what they were called. Guys, it's a better podcast than ours. Go listen to it.
If you have the time to listen to this, you have the time to listen to
to that. It's way better. Yeah. So they go off and they find him in the basement of a store.
Yeah.
They like fight some thugs and they get down into
this scene. It kind of, I mean, it didn't bother me, but I just thought it was hilarious. He was like, I have this device. I think they just
like
needed
the sonic imager or whatever.
They needed a reason to bring this device in.
Later
It's like,
on,
I have this device that'll show us where the secret passage is. And they go down to the basement, and the only thing there is like a sarcophagus.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm like, what else could it be?
What else was going to be the entrance to Secret Passage?
And I thought, like, if I
Honestly.
ever had like a secret dungeon or something, I would put a sarcophagus in there, and I'd put the secret entrance like right next to it.
It's like hitting it into the wall
Yeah.
inconspicuously.
Yeah, because everyone would only focus on that.
What would be the haunted sarcophagus? Like, is it like a trap?
I don't know. I didn't think that far through. Maybe
should.
it'd lead to like a less interesting room.
It's a bathroom.
It'd be into the bathroom.
So they find Roz down there, and Bruce says something. He makes a comment about how Roz is trying to track down this Egyptian priestess, and he says like, "Oh, the oldest chauvinist in the world is chasing after a woman."
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, that's a great burn. Is he that chauvinistic?
A little bit.
I mean, I guess he's got a whole superiority thing, and he
sees himself as a god, basically.
He does, yeah, and he has this whole like old-fashioned paternal thing with his daughter about who's going to marry her off and be a successor and that sort of thing. So I mean, that's far from like a modern perspective, but I don't know if I would call him a chauvinist.
He also had a line which I thought was like a pretty bad burn to Talia, where after he traps them, he's like, most people find immortality in their offspring. I find that a lie, or something like that. And walks away. I'm like, cold-hearted.
I know, and she's so sad because she's already sad that like Roz was still alive and didn't tell her.
Yeah.
She had no idea he was still around. She found out because Bruce is looking after them. But yeah, they get trapped in like this glass case of emotion, basically.
Yeah.
And but thank God Bruce has
Glass case of parental problems.
that. Yeah. He's got that sonic imager lying around that he could just very conveniently use to rupture the glass and get on out of there.
Which is very like, for something that didn't need to be that well done. Like
It is well animated,
They
yeah.
went way out of their way, because like even on all the glass shattering pieces, they had reflection.
Oh, yeah.
on every little like crack.
Yeah.
That's amazing. There's I don't know if I've brought this up on the podcast. There's an animation term called shaking the lamp. Have you heard of that before?
You may have mentioned it. I'm not sure.
It originally comes from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So of course I have to talk about
Your
it.
favorite movie?
Yeah. And there's a scene in Roger Rabbit when Eddie and Roger are in, they're kind of hidden in that diner, and he's trying to saw the handcuffs off.
Yeah. They're in the back room of the speakeasy.
Yeah. and Roger accidentally hits the lamp, and so it's shaking back and forth. And it's basically when the term comes from animators going way out of their way to do this incredibly hard task that no one was going to notice.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be there, but they do it anyways just to prove,
Because like even with the lamp shaking, they drew in all of the extra shadows that would have happened, which is crazy.
It's so much
work.
I mean, you know this. You're an animator. You know how much fucking work that is.
So much extra work.
But it's amazing they do it, though, because like it adds that level of detail. And you're right. They do it here, and it just makes it seem so effortless. But really, it's so much work to get there.
Right.
But it does add something. It shows just like the level of production quality they put into it. Mm-hmm. So then they make their way out to the
tomb
again. Tomb from the prologue. Batman changes, or Bruce changes into Batman for whatever reason he feels inclined to do so.
I think I wonder if he can just put his belt on at one point. I mean, I'm sure the cape has like special properties and some shit like that.
Maybe it's a mindset thing. Like
it probably is.
Yeah. You know, it's like some actors aren't in the role and they have the makeup on. Same with Batman.
Yeah.
He's a drama queen, right?
It's like not Magic Mike, like Mike.
It's just like that kids movie, Magic Mike.
You know, they don't get into character until they strip down into nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to go into that anymore.
No, probably not. It's probably the best.
So Roz finds the tomb is fake. He finds the scrolls. They kind of disintegrate.
They open the sarcophagus of the priestess, and the scrolls disintegrate.
And then he kind of rounds the corner. I didn't really understand. He rounds the corner and finds the actual entrance.
Well, he like grabs the side of the sarcophagus and he flips a switch, and it reveals a staircase down into this this
not
pit.
Lazarus pit.
Yeah, it's a green
also
pit,
a green pit,
but not a Lazarus pit.
Not a Lazarus pit.
Where the immortal goddess is there, and she appears and is like absolutely beautiful, and she's like, "Oh, if you want to learn the secrets of my immortality, my power, come to me.
Come join Legion."
Yeah, and we find out that what she's actually doing is sucking the life out of him.
Mm-hmm. She's a Dementor.
Yeah, she is. And then, so like Talia goes down there and sees what's actually going on and tries to save him. And then Batman goes down and tries to save him. And they get Roz out of there, who's all skeleton now. And they throw a grenade, and that doesn't kill her. So then she summons these. They're kind of like Clayface.
Slime, yeah, slime creatures.
Also, was this this feels to me like the most mystical of any character yet in the show.
Oh, for sure.
Right. I mean, Roz was kind of there, but you could almost kind of say that the Lazarus Pit is maybe just something like actually biological we don't quite understand. And even Zatanna never actually does real magic when we see her. So this is the first like quote unquote magical character, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yet in the animated series.
Yeah.
Do you think that works?
Felt weird.
It did feel weird.
And she was also a zombie.
Yeah,
so
that
was
true.
like another level.
Yeah. It was like a big leap. Everything else had been kind of grounded in some sort of science, even if it's a little bit far-fetched. Mm-hmm. And this just, I don't know, it seemed a little bit bizarre.
Yeah, I wasn't super happy with this villain.
No.
And then he goes all Vampire Slayer and drops just a giant boulder on her.
Oh, yeah, he kicks over one of like he pulls an indie move.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I think it's actually also in both this episode and the movie, it's like a giant statue of Anubis, right? He kicks over and but this time it's to trap the whatever. Sorry.
And then as they're leaving, Talia asks Bruce what he's going to do with her dad. He's like, I'm going to turn him in because can't kill. And then she's like, no, you're not. And they go on their way, and they kind of leave Bruce in the desert.
Yeah, but they give him a bottle of water. So
How
it's fine.
sweet.
It is sweet. I mean, it is. It's weird, but it's also kind of nice. She still loves her dad. She,
After
still
he
loyal to him.
Told her that.
She doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a long history, even within the DCAU, of just like Roz just doing horrible things to Talia and her still being loyal to him. So it's no big surprise there.
Which relationship do you think is more toxic? Roz and Talia or Joker and Harley?
Okay, I guess let me try to think.
They're both bad in different ways.
They're both really bad. I mean, in the comics, they've both kind of moved beyond those relationships. Within the DCAU, I feel like neither of them really do. As we'll see, Talia actually reappears in Batman Beyond, way down the line. And again, she's still kind of trapped in that relationship. So, I guess theirs is worse. Within the DCAU, Harley gets out.
That's true.
Yeah, and Talia doesn't. So they're both super fucked up.
They're bad.
If anything, the Talia Ross is probably more fucked up because it's a father-daughter situation. So there's weird Oedipal things on there. No, not Oedipal. What's
Oedipus.
No, Oedipus was the mom. What's the
Oh, I don't know the dad version.
Electra complex?
Electra, like
Right?
Carmen Electra.
Yes. Yes. Named after Carmen Electra.
It's a very new. It's a very new thing.
Christ. But yeah, I think.
Well, I knew it wasn't going to be the Marvel Electra.
Well, no, but like,
Those are my only two Electras.
but I think that it's the Electra from the comics is named after. That's the one.
No.
I think. But yeah, no, it's all named after Carmen Electra.
Yeah.
The only piece of trivia I have about this episode, which is just personally special to me, is that the voice of the Egyptian priestess is Nichelle Nichols. David Warner, obviously, is the voice of Ra's al Ghul, and then Brock Peters does Lucius Fox, and they were all in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country,
Hey.
which is one of my favorite Star Trek movies.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think any of them actually share scenes with each other, but regardless,
No.
yeah.
Kind of sidetrack for a quick sec. Speaking of Star Trek, did you see one, the Star Trek trailer,
Oh, I
and two,
did.
the
I
Seth
did.
MacFarlane Star Trek trailer?
Yes, I was excited about the trailer for Star Trek Discovery. Mm-hmm. Although I'm a little bit confused because they said that it's set in the original timeline, but based on all the visuals, this very much feels like it's part of the reboot/Kelvin timeline.
Yeah.
That is incredibly nerdy that I know that, but I don't
No,
care.
it's fine. It's also supposed to take place
It's about like 10 years before the original series.
Right.
Yeah. I was excited about that. The Seth MacFarlane one, maybe a little bit less so.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
I will probably check it out. I don't know if it has legs.
Is it a movie or a TV show? I didn't
Well,
understand
it
that.
looks like a movie. It's got to be an incredibly expensive TV show. I mean, because the effects are impressive.
Yeah.
It's got to be really fucking expensive. And because it's really fucking expensive, that makes me worried.
Yeah.
Because generally, the bigger the budget you slap on something, the bigger the show or the movie has to be, and the more generic it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt a little bit generic in its comedy, even.
Yeah.
But maybe it's going to be good.
Well, we'll see.
Who knows? Yeah. I will probably end up paying for CBS All Access to watch Star Trek Discovery. That makes me mad because I don't want to, but I will because it looks really good. But yeah, that's a total tangent.
No, that's fine. You brought up Star Trek, so I needed.
Yeah,
to get your opinion.
I did like that. Do you have any other notes on this guy here?
No,
this
that was
episode?
kind of it.
Okay. What are you bat plugging this week, Cameron?
So I have like a tangential bat plug. So I went.
What the fuck does that mean? A tangential bat plug?
It's a plug off of something else.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's
Sure.
how tangents work.
I guess you could explain it rather than me asking you. But go ahead.
So the plug is not this. I went to go see Guy Ritchie's King Arthur movie,
Oy.
but it was weird. It was not bad. It wasn't great.
Well, that's stellar recommendation right there.
A raving review.
Yeah, well,
So like the way the way I see it in my head, if you imagine like 300 mixed with Ocean's 11, but not as good as either of them.
Okay.
So what was weird about the movie is it's like a very, it's obviously about the Arthurian legends, but Guy Ritchie kind of made it like a heist film almost, like him leaving the city and then him setting up to try and kill Mordred, who I know is not like he's like Arthur's son, but they make him as his uncle.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into that. So it's like they have this very kind of like orchestral music playing throughout the whole thing, but then they'll go to these very, very Guy Ritchie-esque scenes with these very snappy cuts and like lots of sliding transitions and like, you're going to do this and you're going to do this and I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then we're going to try and do this, but it's not going to work out that way. It's going to work out this way. And it's like this like upbeat, like Ocean's 11 music. And I'm like, this is still taking place in like the dark
Medieval
times.
Yeah. What?
It was very odd, but because of that, it inspired me because they took on such a weird perspective on the Arthurian legend. It inspired me to go back and learn about it because I remember loving it as a kid.
Sure.
Like the DreamWorks, maybe Fox animated Quest for Camelot from 96-ish.
Okay.
I loved that movie growing up for some reason. It's not great.
Yeah, you have bad taste. We know this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I realized I'd never really dove into that world before. So I spent the rest of the weekend listening to Myths and Legends It's one of my favorite podcasts. I haven't listened to it in a while.
You were telling me about that, or someone else told me about that?
I might have brought it up because I
have.
used to love this podcast. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's this one guy goes in depth into a bunch of different myths and legends from around the world, and he has like an 8-part series on the Arthur stories. So he has a great series that leads up to Arthur. It's a 3-part story kind of going into his grandfather's life, Constantine the Third, I think. And then kind of Uther and the other guy. I'm so mad I forgot his name already.
Lancelot.
No.
Merlin.
No.
Guinevere.
It does go into Lancelot. Not Lancelot, sorry. It does go
Tuck.
into... No. Uther kind of fighting to get the throne back, and then him meeting Merlin, who is supposed to be the Antichrist, which I forgot about.
What?
Yeah, he was... I'm not going to go into it. It's a long story.
Okay.
And then leading into Arthur, and they kind of skip over the part that everyone tells, the Sword in the Stone aspect, and go straight into the Knight of the Round Table stories.
Okay.
So there's a whole episode dedicated to Lancelot, to Guinevere, and Mordred, who's his like son character. But it's cool. I recommend everyone listening to that because there's the podcast also goes into the original tellings of the Disney films.
Oh, okay.
So you hear the Ice Queen story, which is what Frozen is very, very loosely based off of.
Yeah.
They go into the original Little Mermaid, the original Aladdin, the original Mulan, and they're all so fascinating.
Oh, yeah, because they're a lot different than
the
Disney versions, as you'd expect. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so Myth and Legends, the podcast.
Yeah.
So that is the plug-in, not
the movie.
Okay, I'll skip that part. Right.
And then I have one more quick one because I don't know why, but I've been bringing up a lot of YouTube videos for plugs.
Yeah, they're great.
There's another one which is really cool. This channel called Wisecrack. That every week or so they'll do a really cool video essay, and they do a lot about Rick and Morty.
Okay.
So they did one this week about Dan Harmon's story structure and how he writes for TV. It was really cool. I feel like you would really like that.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That sounds really interesting.
His I'm sure it's not Dan Harmon's original thing because it sounds very like when he explains it, it's one of those where you're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But it's like Dan Harmon's 8 steps of writing a TV episode.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it was really cool.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll send you the link for that.
Yeah, I got to put it in the podcast anyway, so
Yeah.
I might as well watch it too.
Yeah. What are your plugs?
I've watched the first 2 seasons, third one's not out yet, of Difficult People on Hulu, which is Julie Klausner and Billy Eichner. And they just played 2 total asshole kind of versions of themselves living in New York.
Okay.
It's really funny. Particularly in season 2, I think it's season 2, beginning of season 2, there's an episode with, oh God, how am I blanking on his name? Comedian. I love him. He's young.
The physical descriptions.
Young, white, dark hair. Jesus, I literally had his name in my head until I started to say, hang on, I'm just going to, just.
John Mulaney.
Thank you, it's Mulaney, yes.
Okay.
How the fuck did I forget that?
I don't know.
I literally had it.
I'm happy I got it first try.
Yeah, well done. So it's got John Mulaney in it. It's a great
that's
episode.
awesome.
So that's been really good. And then the one that you'll appreciate is while I was traveling, I watched Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yay!
It's great.
It's so good.
I had to stop and remind myself numerous times that it's
stop motion
because it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Like, how many years did it take them to make that movie?
4.
It's incredible.
No, 7.
7, okay. It is gorgeous. It's an incredible story. Like, the performances are great. Like, it gets you
So
all
good.
emotional. Like, I was tearing up a little bit. Maybe it's because I was on a plane. Apparently that's easier to happen on a plane. I don't know.
Sure.
But I loved it. Really, really loved it.
Yeah.
It's just so impressive all the way through.
It's so good.
Yeah, so I still haven't seen Paranorman or the Box Trolls.
I love Paranorman.
I've heard Paranorman
Box
is
Trolls,
really great.
I didn't
Yeah.
like the story very much. The animation is gorgeous, as always.
As you'd expect, yeah. I mean, but these guys, they really know how to make a movie, and like
Yeah.
the scope and scale is so much beyond what you'd expect from claymation. So yeah, I loved it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Go watch that.
Oh, I had one more plug that I forgot about until
Okay.
now. It's Not as happy as the rest of them, but it was a very cool show. I watched Chris Gethard's HBO special.
Oh, okay.
Career Suicide.
Yeah.
Which I thought was supposed to be a comedy special, but it's more of a one-man show kind of thing.
Oh, interesting.
Because it goes over him fighting like his crippling depression and his like suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting.
Oh, whoa.
And it was
Sounds
really
cool.
cool. And he's such an odd comedian.
Yeah, I like
If
him a
anyone's
lot.
ever watched his TV show, the Chris Gethard show, I'd recommend it because it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. It's a very wonky, very weird show, but it's really interesting to watch. But the special it's nice. It's really eye opening to kind of what it's like to work in the entertainment industry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because he's done like for a name that not many people know, he's done a lot.
He's been in a lot of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And he also wrote for a lot of stuff. Like he was a very short time, very very short lived, but he was an SNL writer.
Oh, wow. I don't
He
know that.
personally plucked by
Lorne Michaels?
no
Tina Fey.
Seth Meyers.
Okay.
Yeah, which is cool.
Oh,
He's
nice.
a cool guy.
Yeah. I will also have to check that out.
Yeah, it's a little emotional, but it's nice.
Emotional's fine.
Yeah.
Emotional's good sometimes.
I mean, it's just that's not something that I usually plug.
That's true. Yeah. You actually have really good plugs this week, Cameron.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm doing better with my life.
Disproving the theory. No, it's not really so much a theory as an accusation on my part that you have terrible taste.
I mean, I just said I didn't have time to watch anything bad this week.
That's true. My God. But yeah, so that does it for Bat Plugs, and I think it does it for us this week.
Yep.
I don't remember what's up next week.
Episode
Oh, wait,
38.
I have the list right here. Look at that. House and Garden and The Terrible Trio.
Haven't heard of either of them.
Nope, so that'll be great.
Yeah.
And until then, you can find the podcast on @TimmTalkPod on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm at Lordifer on all those same things.
I'm at Cameron.Dexter on Instagram.
Yeah. And if you guys have suggestions for bat plugs, let us know. We're always
Yeah.
curious what you guys are watching and listening to. And
It'd be
reading
nice to not
and
watch
everything.
something horrible.
Yeah, I know, right? So help Cameron out here, please. Please, guys. But until then, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
The Nerdist School Network. For class and show information, visit nerdistschool.com.